motherfucker.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, that was.
No more room in hell. The dead walk here.
Yo, what's up, Horror Fiends? It's your boy, Ricky Grimes, and welcome to Three Corners of Horror, episode 100, motherfuckers! Yeah, I'm gonna introduce to you to our panel on this special episode. We got the very, very special man here, Radar DeBoard, horror author extraordinaire. What's good, my boy?
Everything, my man.
Awesome, my man.
Except for my Cowboys.
Damn,
Yeah, at least I didn't say
it. Full disclosure, before we started, we were like, yeah, nobody bring up the Cowboys, man. And of course, I got my man, El Jefe, the boss, JR, right below me. What's good, my brother?
100 episodes, man. I mean, when we first started this, we didn't know how long we were going to go, but damn, 100 episodes. And a channel that's still blossoming and a long way to go with it. And also, football talk. Hey, Bucks are still undefeated.
Hey, whatever.
Wild.
You didn't play them. You're playing tomorrow. I would not celebrate just
We're
yet.
still undefeated, so I gotta.
He's gotta take it in while it's here, man. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow might be different. Joe the psychologist, what up, my brother from another mother?
What's up? Well, the Pats won, so I'll start with that. So, and Radar, I like your shirt, bro.
Whoa, I think I like yours too, dude.
I swear to God, we did not call each other.
You know, for some reason, I think it's Step Brothers. Did we
Oh
just
my
become
God.
best friends? Yup.
Honest to God, this is the most random thing that can happen. Like doing something like this.
And it's like, it's the Dream Warrior shirt, which is the most random fucking shirt you can put on that.
I was
By
like,
the way,
I'll just
Rick-
throw on a shirt this morning and it'll be good.
Rick, this is the one I got at Five Below.
Yeah,
So
dude.
thanks for telling me about that place.
Absolutely. You got the globes too?
Oh yeah, all three of them are right here.
Yes, sir. I got my Freddy globe here. I got Freddy.
Okay.
If you guys go to Five Below, they got these globes you can collect. It's got a bunch of horror icons. The only one that was available for me that I wanted was Freddy, unfortunately. All the other ones I wanted, this motherfucker picked up.
I got The Exorcist and Friday the 13th.
You got my Jason. That's the one I was looking for,
Dude,
man.
I ransacked those boxes. The girl was walking by looking at me. I looked like a fat kid trying to find the last cookie in the box.
Bro, listen, man.
I was digging.
I'm a collector, bro. I do the same shit when I go to stores. I see a fresh box of Funko Pops ain't open. I'm looking for that fucking employee. Yo, split this shit open. Get the box good. I'll help you. Come on. We're going back to 1983. This is a very special episode. We had to take a very special film and bring to you, the fans of Three Corners of Horror. If you haven't seen this film, please stop what you're doing now. Pause this video. Go on AMC Plus. It's on it right now if you don't have that subscription. Maybe find it on YouTube. I don't know. But we are going to be talking about John Carpenter's Christine. The film stars Keith Gordon as Arnie, John Stockwell as Dennis, and Alexandra Paul as Lee. All right, JR, man. So let me ask you, man, when this movie came out, you saw this in the theater, or you're a little too young? I don't 83. Nah. You're old, motherfucker. You've been around.
We're still in Puerto Rico. Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't watch. Yeah, when the hell did we watch this?
I rented it.
Yeah.
I rented it from that little east side place that we used to rent all our movies from. So he saw it with me.
I probably saw it as a rental as well,
I would
man.
I would probably say it was maybe 87, 88.
So JR,
We were young.
does the film hold up to you? I don't know. You seen it recently? I'm assuming, right?
Oh yeah, I seen it yesterday just to catch it. Actually, I seen it yesterday. And I seen it a week ago too, because it's one of those movies that when you see it pop by, when you're strictly looking for something to watch, you just want to watch it. I mean, it's John Carpenter. I love John Carpenter. He's my favorite. I'm a Halloween guy, so every John Carpenter film for me is awesome.
This went into production even before the Stephen King book was released. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
Now you do. See, there you go.
There was just such a hot demand.
So the producer of this film was given 2 Stephen King properties. It was this one, Christine, and Cujo, and they thought Cujo was too silly, so they went with the killer car. So, and again, the book, it was in such high demand because it was King that the book wasn't even released yet, and this film was already, up and running. So yeah, so Jared, talk to us, man. How's it hold up for you after watching it again?
I don't think there's not one single John Carpenter film that doesn't still stand the test of time. And then top it off, the score. I mean, John Carpenter's films have always been about the score and the wide shot. And this movie, I mean, the scene where, I mean, we're going to talk about it later, but there's a scene in particular where he's chasing somebody on the highway, and the minute that song hits, that music hits, you're like, holy shit. But yeah, this film is still good. I mean, if you haven't watched it, what the hell have you been doing? Watch this fucking movie already.
Everyone loves like the Halloween theme and all of that, but Christine's theme, that like when it attacks people, is his second best theme he ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
This film, the score, obviously, John Carpenter. Also, Alan Howarth was also his co-composer. And if you don't know, he scored Halloween 3. And there's a lot of Halloween 3 like music
little
cues
things in there.
this
Yes,
movie.
I picked that up.
Mhm.
There was a couple of times I'm like,
oh yeah. So if you
Halloween.
close your eyes and leave this movie running and you hear those cues, you would think you're watching Halloween 3. So yeah, the score. And what I liked about this film, Carpenter used a lot of silence in certain scenes. So when the music does kick in, you're like, oh shit. Like the classic Carpenter theme doesn't really kick in till like halfway into this film, honestly. And that's when you're like, wait a minute, this is a John Carpenter movie. That's how you're reminded. How about you, Radar? This holds up for you. When'd you watch this? You're a little younger than us, so
A little bit.
yeah, a little bit.
I watched it with my grandma, of all people, when I was like 8. Because she was like, "Oh, it's fine. There's no nudity or too much cussing in it, so that's all right." Despite everything,
the cussing that was
happens.
in it was awesome, though.
Yeah.
I love the dialogue in this movie.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, I remember watching it when I was 8, and there's just some scenes in it that have stuck with me through my whole life that I can just like picture as plain as day if I close my eyes. So we could talk about that later. But the last time I saw it was just the year before COVID in 2019. Because there's a guy in Wichita where I live, and he puts on he rents out a theater and then just shows retro horror movies in it. And so he did a double feature of Maximum Overdrive and Christine.
Yo, how does that movie keep getting brought up somehow?
I mean, like
classic.
Wow.
I always think of the Green Goblin when I think of
So do
Maximum
I.
Overdrive.
Actually, and on the highway, I do, besides Final Destination, every once in a while, some trucks I do think of.
Oh, I hate driving alongside trucks.
I just think of how the hell you get killed by a soda dispenser.
Best kill. Actually, no, the concrete driver is the best kill when it just runs over that kid. But it was like a double feature, and so I got to see it in the theater, and oh man, it still held up for sure.
Did you say double feature?
Double feature, baby.
Yo, so that's cool, man. I envy you, man. I would love to have seen it set up in a theater like that.
Oh yeah, like the soundtrack just sounds that much more amazing.
Oh my god,
just being piped through there. Oh man,
yeah.
Well,
and like I said, the music they kind of Carpenter was a little bit reserved on this one because, like the scene when Christine goes after but the fake John Travolta buddy, I love that fucking guy. I always say that act as the fake John Travolta right there. When he goes after him and his other two, his two dweebs, they blow up that whole gas station. That whole entire scene there's no music, nothing. And as soon as it switches to the chase, then pew, like oh my god, here we go. Now it's on. So that's awesome. Joe the psychologist, man. All right, so you rented it, you put it on for your brothers. What was your reaction then? And obviously, you've seen it recently, I'm going to assume. What's your reaction now? Does it hold up?
Oh, it definitely holds up. I'm going to say that, and I don't know if any of y'all remember this, part of the reason I rented this movie, one, was the cover. It's a classic cover, and it was actually the cover with the Christine on fire. And there was a movie, The Car, that had come out that I'm a huge fan of. I don't know if you guys remember that one. And I think it was a made-for-TV horror movie called The Car.
Vaguely remember it. I've never seen it.
it's a big. I don't even actually. I'm not great with cars. If there's ever an accident and the cop asks me what the car is gonna look like, I'm gonna be like, it was
The car was
blue
all
with
black.
4 doors. Like, yeah, the car was all black. It kind of like a Brimstone from
Twisted Metal.
Brimstone. Is it Brimstone? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I rented it because of the cover. And it did say Stephen King, so at that time I started reading the books. I brought that home, based on the way that the cover looked, with it being on fire, and I watched this with JR, P Rockzilla, and one of our cousins, the one who actually was old enough to rent the movies for us. And that movie was fucking awesome, and I loved the car. I loved this one more. And watching it now, older, you appreciate other nuances, which is, like you said, the score and stuff like that. Back then it wasn't that, it's just how it looked. And no one would ever think of a car actually being scary, but then it's actually, like, guess what, a car can be scary, and the car can get possessed and come after you and reconstitute itself. So the movie still holds up. When I was watching it last night, I mean, yeah, I thought back, because I've seen it a lot of times, but I did flashback to watching it with my brothers, and was just like, here's this movie that I've seen. I think it's the 40th anniversary for this, so we've
40 years, bro.
40 years. So I would say we're at least within 30 years of having seen it. So here we are, a movie that 30 years ago I watched with my brother, and here we are discussing it now because it still holds up. And yes, John Carpenter. The one thing that I will say, and I don't know this, so if Rick, after I'm done, if you know it, is the fact that what I liked of Carpenter is some of the scenes that he shot were scenes that you would read Steven describing it. Like when he stopped Dennis and made him go back, and you were seeing the scenes of like the plant, the flowers and everything, like it coming in. It was like you were watching Stephen King's words put on film. So Carpenter beautifully shot this movie. I mean, to take a now you taught me that he actually got to see this first before we even got to read it, and he did an amazing job on just like visualizing what King described in the book, and not many directors have been able to do that. And this is fucking 40 years ago, and someone nailed it back then.
What I love about this is Arnie's his arc when he starts off as the nerdy guy. Joe got the glasses to reflect that, and seeing him transform into this other character. He wasn't Arnie anymore, and Lee mentioned that it's not Arnie anymore, and the way he dressed reflected that. With, if you look at the colors he's wearing, the final colors he's wearing is like red, which is Christine. So it's an evolution going from the greasers, like you mentioned, the way John Travolta dressed up at that time, towards the climax of the film. He looks totally like a different person. The reds, the leather, all that stuff. And I love the way they transition that into this guy. We start with him being really weak, and all of a sudden he's turned into this guy calling his he said fuck you to his mother, and he called his dad a motherfucker. I don't know about you guys, I was dying laughing. In short, this movie definitely holds up. After rewatching it, man, it doesn't feel old or old-fashioned or nothing. The acting doesn't feel like Keith Gordon did an incredible job. I mean, this is a guy I've been following since like he was in Jaws 2, Back to School. I mean,
Legend of Jean.
The Legend. Oh, what's that? The Michael Jackson's video?
No,
the Legend. Oh,
fair. You never saw Legend.
What's the blonde girl that's in there? The blonde. What's the blonde?
Helen Slater.
Yes, Helen Slater. Yes.
Yep,
Yes.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yardley Smith.
So man, but he was like, I loved an arc that takes a character from here and he ends up totally someplace else, man. That one scene when he's driving with Dennis near the climax of the film, and he's talking about love, and you think he's talking about Lee, but he's talking about Christine. The guy's drinking beer, chucking off the window, not even holding onto the steering wheel. I'm like, oh my god, I would have jumped out that car so fucking fast, bro.
Christine can't drive herself. I mean, it's just for formalities that he's holding on.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, he didn't want to tell Dennis that, so he's talking about the excellent wheel alignment.
Watch this, the bitch drives herself.
So Radar, what you think of Christine herself, man? You dug her, and how about the way she killed people? This is a little bit of a slasher too, because Christine went out of her way. She fucked people up, man. What you think about that, Radar?
I was gonna say it feels like a more subdued slasher, and certainly more subdued for that time period with how slashers already by '83 were just crazy over the top.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's two. One is a kill, but the other is not. But that just stand out to me in the film. And I know everyone's going to talk about one certain kill later on, so I'll save that for someone else. But like the first moment is when Lee almost dies in the car when they're at the drive-in, and like all of a sudden all the lights come on, she starts choking, and there's like that bright light hitting her in the face and everything.
That old 50s music.
Yeah, as a kid, I was like, "Oh God, this car means business!" And I was freaking out for some reason. That scene,
which was foreshadowed,
though.
When the original owner's daughter choked in their car prior to that. They had mentioned that, so
yeah, and I love how Arnie is like, "What'd you do to her?" You know, to the car and stuff. He doesn't give a shit about Lee. Even then, he's like, "What?" But that scene stuck with me for some reason. But the kill that's like not even intentional is Arnie's death, where he just gets propelled out of Christine and like gets some glass to the stomach. And it's like, even in death, he's still holding on to Christine. And she just poetic. Like goes off. And like, I think some people could like see that as her getting mad that Arnie's dead. But I think her just peeling out and starting to attack them is just being a whole cold-hearted bitch. She's just like, I don't give a shit. He's gone. Let me kill these people anyways. And that sticks with me.
Yeah, Christine did fuck people up. GR, did she fuck people up?
I got a question to you guys, because after watching the movie over and over again, I kind of have a different take of that whole end sequence for some reason. Yeah. Because I feel like Christine, because the fact that he was killing he was basically going after his best friend and the girl he loved, right? For me, for some reason, I feel like Christine purposely crashed to lodge him out the window because she sensed a weakness still in him. So she killed him.
Ooh. Well,
wait, let him.
So she like killed him because, I mean, not for nothing. You lodge out a window. He didn't have his seatbelt on. The impact of him going out is almost like he was forced out at the same time. And then right over the heart, which is basically, he broke her heart too. I mean, I just look at it. That scene for me is a little deeper now after watching it, because he had that momentary hesitation.
You interpreted it completely differently. That's cool.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he's a little right. That's I'm gonna solidify his point.
Yeah, you're next. You're good.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, but as far as the kills, I don't want to do the one that I don't, because we all talked about the music hitting.
I'll go ahead and talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
I don't want to talk about that one. I kind of think it's ironic that there's two deaths in this film that are very similar. There's the one in the beginning where Christine's actually in the auto plant and the guy gets in the car smoking a cigar.
He dropped the ash.
He died. But he died.
JR, elaborate, not just for the viewers, but I have this question. How did he die?
That's a good question.
They never really said.
They never
right?
said.
They never said. Okay, I'm making sure.
Yeah, they never really said. But the way I took it is because you had a similar death of the guy who owned the junkyard, who got in the car with a cigar too. And basically she pressed him up and basically killed him.
Oh, okay. It could have been the same.
I almost took it might have been the same. So you had two deaths that were very similar. And they just happened to happen, and it happened in a big facility at the same time. So it's like, but for me, I go with those deaths because they didn't explain. Like, yeah, all this foreshadowing, her attacking the first guy who had his hand right there on the grill, and then she smacks it down.
It's funny. Raider has shared that not too long ago. I was like, hey, Christine. That was you, right, Raider? That was you, right?
I think so.
But it was him.
And how long was the dude sitting in the car that nobody noticed that somebody sitting in the car and you're freaking. Right. But no, he's in the plant though. He's in the
right. He got in there at the end. He got in there at the end
after the guy got his hand crushed in there.
Basically, the security guards are freaking automaker shop or something. But yeah, for me, I'm gonna go.
That was the 50s. They probably didn't have auto security guards back then.
Yeah, no, probably not.
Remember, they had dogs back in the days in junkyards. This is they probably did. But no, I'm gonna go with those two kills only because they could have been similar, but the fact that one was just showing and they go into the extreme and show the other one. And it's both people's cigars in their mouth, and I mean that guy in the junkyard was an asshole, anyways. But it was funny as fuck.
I love when he was like, you can't polish a turd.
Yeah. And every time Arnie talked to him, you don't stop it. Don't talk to me, you fucking kids. And Arnie was sitting there like, oh, okay, man.
What did he say? He was like, yeah. Oh man, no, that was the other guy, the dude from the guy who sold Christine to Arnie. What was that line he said? Oh man, he's like, best smell in the world. Well, maybe except for pussy.
A new car, a new car and pussy. That's what he said. The best smell in the world.
Joe, before I want you to respond to JR, but when you're done, I got a question for you. So go for it, brother.
All right. Well, here's the thing, and I'm gonna ask you guys really quick. Did any of you guys notice that the speedometer kept going down from the minute that he bought it? The speedometer kept going down. So while Arnie was basically changing, it seemed for me that Christine was taking like his life force to regenerate herself or keep her going. Right before Arnie died, the speedometer was about to hit 000.
Didn't catch that. Good shout.
Yep. So that's why I think JR's right, because she was done with him, and the song she played, it wasn't, I can't remember which one it was, but the lyrics were more like, I'm gonna always love you, knowing that they're not gonna be with that person anymore.
Yeah, the songs, by the way, you're right. Every song that played,
Meant
Christine
something.
played during those scenes, if you look at the lyrics, it does reflect the action that's happening on screen.
So right before, as you're seeing all the action, the speedometer is about to hit 000 and Arnie dies. So I think you're right, JR. I think because watching it again, I paid this attention when I was watching it last night, going, wait a minute. Is she like sucking his life? Is the reason that the speedometer is going back is because she's basically draining him? And this is it. She was done. Why are you laughing?
He said she's sucking him, she's draining him. Jesus Christ.
At least I didn't say she sucked him dry.
Well, I mean,
You might as well.
I mean, you might as well, because he had darkness under his eyes.
No, that's what you noticed.
That's a good shot though. I didn't pick up.
Yeah.
I picked up on the transformation, but the speedometer I did not.
Well,
That's
and
a
here
good
we are years later, and I didn't. And so JR caught the same thing I kind of caught. For me, because as far as Christine being cool, because when you talk about score, was after she was totaled, and he went back with Lee, and he's crying to her, and he goes, "All right, show me." And the lights come on, and the score. Dude, I'm getting goosebumps now.
Yes.
Oh, it's such a good
No,
scene.
it wasn't the first chase that gave you that. Like literally, when that happened, I'm like,
Show me.
You know when the first John Carpenter music cue hits?
that point.
No.
Oh no.
It is during that period of time, but it's when the thugs broke in, when Arnie opened up the garage and
Yes,
he pulls in and they come out of the darkness. That's when John Carpenter's music hits for the first time in this movie.
But yeah, I mean,
And that's when it reminds you you're watching a John Carpenter movie.
So that when that scene hit, the lights came on and the music kicked in.
Oh man, so
Was
Show
I
me.
mean, it just showed me, and it showed you. She's like, "All right, watch this, motherfucker,"
which
and
was
she-
filmed brilliantly, man.
It
with the
was.
reverse shots of all the hydraulics.
God, that was awesome. And
Yeah.
since everybody's avoiding it, obviously, when she, because after she kills, what was his name? Mundy?
Moochie? Moochie.
I would have liked to seen that kill when they said they had to scrape her from the
When
wall.
I
because
saw
she was
it,
in
I was like,
half.
"Oh, they could have." But rewatching it and the way the cinematography picked up the guy from the waist up, and the lighting, it's all darkness around him. All you see is like his silhouette in a way, and then it goes into darkness, and the music kind of helps like put the image into your head. I'm like, that's one of the very first like deaths that was kind of hidden
In
as far
your
as
head?
gore. But the way it was shot with the music and the car and just the intensity, that was great. And the fact that he mentioned later, Harry Dean Stanton's character, Junkins, mentioned he was cut in half and he had to scrape him off the ground.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would have liked to have seen
man.
Christine just keep shoving
There's no
herself
gore in this movie.
there.
There's no gore at
No,
all.
there's
Yeah.
no gore.
You don't need it
But-
in this one.
but yes, and then you talk about, because hitting on the score is after he goes, after Christine goes after the remaining three, and then she is set on fire. That the fucking Christine on fire is so beautiful. I don't like, it's beautiful. And then the music kicks in, and this bitch has got fire coming around here. She's just chasing.
You got fake John
down.
Travolta running, looking back.
Oh my god,
buddy!
Like just that, like that is like iconic cinematography. That when you think of the movie, which everybody was trying to avoid talking about it, so I was like, if somebody's gonna knock this one out first, I'll be glad to talk about it, because out of all the scenes in there, those two scenes were the best scenes in the movie. Christine recreating herself with the score, and then her on fire with the score. You will never, when you think of the movie Christine, those two scenes are basically your bookends as to how fucking awesome this car is.
And I'm sorry, Jay. I got you.
You know what I kept thinking about when I saw that scene though? Is, dude, it's nighttime. Why are you running in the middle of the road? You could have either field on either side.
Yeah.
You're an idiot.
What? Yeah, dude. Holy
get killed.
Okay.
God, dog. All right, Joe. You fucked it up for me.
I got a car chasing me. Let me go run onto the highway. Let
I'm just saying.
There's other houses around. They weren't in
a horror movie trope where the girl's getting chased by the killer, and she.
Hey, at least they flipped it around. They made it a dude.
Which I've said before. I love when they flip the trope around and make the man do the running and the stupid decision. So
he was running so fast that his wallet had the chain on it that it was almost it was coming out of his back pocket. And then the next scene, it just transitions to Christine just blowing past, and you see him on fire rolling on the ground.
But yeah, those. I mean,
my follow-up, Joe, before, and this goes for anyone if you know. Now, the origin of Christine was changed from the book to film. Mm-hmm. The movie starts with the birth of Christine is essentially on the manufacturer line. Mm-hmm. Now, again, Christine was already possessed from the start. Yes. When I was younger and I saw this, for some reason I had it in mind that somebody killed themselves in the car, possessed the car. But that's not the case at all. So if anyone could answer that one.
So here's the weird part on this, because I would say Christine was just born that way. Like, when the latch went down, she got her first taste of blood. And that's when she could have been awakened. Upon doing a little bit research, I think, and I mentioned it in the live stream, that Christine appears in it. She's the car, whoever can remember his name, but the one that Pennywise controls to try to kill the losers, he's driving Christine. It's referred that Pennywise can control Christine. So it's kind of hard to answer your question, because I mean,
I look at that more as an Easter egg, though. I don't think that holds any weight. That's like Asher's cars with every Sam Raimi movie.
No, I mean, no, but it is. It's in the. I was saying it's been connected.
I know that. I'm just saying I saw it more as an Easter egg, which you could be right though. I'm just saying.
For me, I think that when the latch went down and the blood, she got the taste of blood. That is when the spirit of Christine was awoken.
I'll take that. There's a reason why that scene was in there when the latch came down. That's
right. So like when JR brought up Daryl, is that right?
Daryl Dixon?
What's the name of the guy? The guy who owns the
Darnell.
Yeah, Darnell.
Darnell. Well, I'm close enough. I missed the N. Anyway, when Darnell gets crushed, I think that's how she killed the guy that was found in because again, the seat wasn't forward. They didn't find him crushed up against they just found him dead in the car. The seat was back in place. Also, go ahead.
No, also the fact when Christine was made, that those models were already basically done, because they already had the next model coming in. So they made her to basically eventually scrap her anyways, because I think it was 3 or 4 cars that were left on the line.
Green. Then, she was the only red.
Yeah, and then that's where they're on. The guy goes, she was she was the last of the models. They had the new models coming out, so my brother went and brought her. So right then and there, she was destined for destruction, but for some reason, the taste of blood gave her more life.
Good show. I like that.
I kind of like I always had the interpretation because of the idea of it wasn't the blood. It's just that Christine, some things are inherently evil.
Yeah.
There's just nothing you can do about it. They're just born evil. Something just is there. And I just like that idea for Christine. Maybe the blood helped get her there, but I think she was going to do something evil regardless, whether it was on the assembly line or some dude's daughter. You know, she was going to do something evil.
And by the way, because of the times of this movie, when that happened, I did for a slight moment go to Amityville Horror when the house dropped the hand on the kids. You know, we're talking about an inanimate object taking on life. So I was like, oh shit. So it's coming. So Christine's like the Amityville house, except on wheels.
How about you, Radar? Would you keep Christine?
God, you know, you always go into these horror movies and you look at these characters making these dumb decisions and you're like, come on. I wouldn't do that. Would you? Oh. Come on. Like, and in the moment, I feel like I'm probably a little possessed by Christine. And I was a nerd. I got picked on growing up. Like, perfect example. Anime's cool now. Man, I got fucking hundreds of wedgies because I liked anime growing up. And I'm like, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's how, dude.
On.
That's
Comic
how
was like
everything. Right now, listen. When we were in high school, if you were a comic book nerd like I was, Joe, JR, yeah, you were always an outcast. Now it's hip to be a comic. Look at Comic-Con, how it took over everything, bro.
It's huge. Yeah,
now,
so I mean, getting, having a bunch of wedgies and bullying done to me. Yeah, if I had a car that I was like, yep, it's going to cut someone in half. Fuck yeah, I'd keep it.
And it drives on its own, too.
Yeah.
You can get drunk.
This guy was working, delivering parts and buying parts for, homeboy over here. And Christine, meanwhile, is moonlighting, killing people. Now, but look at Joe's face. I can tell you're going to say you're going to keep the car, right, Joe?
I took the glasses off. You should know. I'm keeping the fucking car. So long as she don't kill me. Yeah. I mean, it is a beautiful car. But,
the thing is, though, I don't think Arnie realized what was happening to him. To him, it was a natural progression. I don't think he knew he was being controlled eventually by the car. I mean, like you said, the guy all of a sudden has perfect vision.
I wouldn't go control. I don't think he knew he was being used. I don't think he knew that Christine was basically
love is blind.
Yeah, like using him in order to be able to keep herself alive.
Yeah,
and eventually. So yeah, and besides, when you heard the other story, how the guy tried to get rid of the car and it came back, at that point, just fucking accept it. It's like, the car's coming back on its own. Just do everything you can to keep her happy.
If I had a car that if I damage it could just rebuild itself, I'm fucking keeping that motherfucker. Wow. And it protects me. If anyone fucks with me, I'm keeping that motherfucker.
We gotta do a new Christine movie with Rick.
Yeah, I'll do it. Hell yes. If you direct it, I'll do it. Joe could do the lighting on that shit. Radar could do the script.
If I had Christine, I would have any fights that I was gonna have. I would have it in front of Christine, so that way she knows.
There you go.
Listen.
You know what your job is later on tonight.
Listen, before we wrap this one up, I gotta say, when I mentioned earlier that it took almost halfway into the film to get the classic Carpenter type music to really hit you, Assault on Precinct 13, Halloween, The Fog, A Big Trouble in Little China, you name it, Escape from New York, all these John Carpenter films always starts off with the credits and that classic John Carpenter music, right? Mm-hmm. Whether it's a cold open or not, but it's there. This movie opens up with just Christine revving up.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you hear.
And then, after the credits, it Bad to the Bone hits, right?
Best use of that song ever.
Yes. Well, aside from Terminator 2, I would argue. I would debate that one. But you're right. It goes from that to Bad to the Bone. And you're like, okay, this is different. Carpenter doesn't really always use a lot of outside, production or licensed music for that matter. And then later, like I said, when the thugs break into they sneak into the garage, then that classic Carpenter horror fucking theme hits, that soundscape. Then you're reminded, oh my God, we're in for a treat. So yeah, let's finish this one up. Radar, you're the guest. We're gonna rate this film. We're gonna do it. I don't give a fuck. Well, now, if this was 2023 and this came out, what would you rate this film?
Dang. Well,
Now,
you know,
we got a score from 1 to 5 here on Three
1
Corners
through
of
5,
Horror,
1 through
just so you
5.
know.
Yeah, I mean, it's got so many moments in it. Like the kills are so awesome, but like you guys said, the cinematography is fantastic. The score's great, and then I just love at the end of the movie when Christine just starts to unfold herself, and Bad to the Bone comes on. Oh man, that's so good. It's not a perfect masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination, but damn, is it good. I would give it 4 flaming cars out of 5.
Damn, 4 flaming cars. I like it. I like it. JR, how about you, my brother? What you got?
It'd be kind of weird seeing it this time because there'll probably be some car from like Fast and the Furious, the freaking lights and shit like that.
CGI galore.
Yeah, they don't have the freaking, the Knight Rider kit thing going on and shit. But listen, this
I know,
movie,
instead of a Plymouth Fury, they'll probably use like a fucking Dodge Charger or something.
I was thinking of Ford Probe.
no, they will use a car that's a hybrid. Has to be electrical. Has to be electrical.
Got a killer Ford Fusion on the loose.
a killer Kia. There you go, Radar. Killer Kia. That's your next book, bro.
Oh God.
You know what? This is one of these movies that it's still good when you watch it. The acting is still great. I mean, Arnie, Keith Gordon. I mean, you're right. The first time I saw him, I was like, yeah, this is the dude from freaking Jaws 2, man.
Yeah.
Which he was a similar character in Jaws 2. And he always played that character that gets picked on, gets looked at differently.
Back to school, man.
Yeah. And the
If
fact
that dress had pockets, you'll be a pool table.
And the fact that it took this movie transformed his character into something you didn't see before, it kind of reminded me, comic book reference, when Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, the
Venom
emo Spider-Man.
Yeah, he started transforming, no glasses. But yeah, it was something similar to that.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give it 4.5 rolling burning bodies.
Ooh, dang.
Dude, oh man, that's that.
We're sticking with that burning theme.
Joe the psychologist, my brother from another mother. Movies that fucked me up. What up, son?
What's up? I mean, all right. First of all, so I guess if this came out now, if it's still the same people involved, I mean, you already got a 1.5 for John Carpenter. You have a 1.5 for Steve. Dude, this is a 5. I mean, I'm not even gonna go around it.
Dang.
This is 5 burning Christines to a fucking John Carpenter theme song. So that's what I would give it. I mean, the movie still holds up. Yeah. Anybody who's gonna watch,
mind you, the funny thing about this movie, these motherfuckers are they were just juniors in high school. Now they're just seniors, bro.
Dude,
how is that possible? Look at the girls.
I dealt with guys that were picking on him.
Bro,
so
they called a sophomore girl in this movie a walking sperm bank. A sophomore. Yeah. They could never get away with that now.
You can't say a lot of
holy shit.
What did they call him? Or Arnie Cunningham?
Cunningham. Stu Charno's in his movie. If you don't know Stu Charno, he was in just one of the guys. He played Reptile.
Lizard.
Yeah,
Lizard.
Reptile. Yeah.
I saw. I'm like fucking Lizard.
He was in Friday the 13th, the original. Obviously, he was in Stephen King. Sleepwalkers, also in that film as well. So this movie, he's the quintessence. It was also in the X-Files, by the way. This is the quintessential 80s guy to me, one of them. And he's in this film. That's just him with fake John Travolta. I love the fucking 80s, man. This movie, if I was teetering on a 4.5, the fact that fake John Travolta called his own instructor a bald motherfucker, that gets a 5 from me. Come on. I can't find nothing wrong with this movie. It's a John Carpenter film. And the fact that he still... He tried to make an actual movie that's different than what he's done prior. Even though it is a horror film, it's still a different type of film that he's done. But it still has that John Carpenter flair, but he doesn't overly rely on it,
Well, that's because he kept the Stephen King's aesthetics.
Yeah, because he normally writes his stuff, or Deborah Hill wrote a lot of his stuff. Now he's going into
we all can relate to the characters because Stephen King writes characters that are all relatable.
Yeah, there you go.
So this movie, dude, I'm mind blown that I didn't know, or the fact that Carpenter saw this first before we got to read the book. I read the book. There was some changes. Still, when you read a book and then you see a movie and you go back to read the book and you have these people who play these characters, Christine is another one. When I reread Christine, having all the characters that Carpenter cast in this movie, when I reread this book, it just elevated it.
So honestly, guys, from the real, I want to say 100 episodes. When me and JR did this, it was a little bit pre-COVID. Me, JR, and Lindsay, our original co-hosts, all got together. The original 3 corners of horror. We wanted to just have 3 different personalities, 3 different tastes in horror. Just talking about horror. We were all in one little space together. Not ain't like this. So, when COVID happened, we were forced to kind of not be together and do this format. And I'm gonna honestly say it was for the better because Lindsay had to bow out personal reasons. We're nothing personal with us. We're still cool, but she had her own reasons. And my man, my brother, Joe stepped up and saved the fucking show. I'm not gonna lie, Joe saved it because if it wasn't for Joe, if it was only me and JR, it wouldn't be the same. It was 3 corners,
Right?
And Joe, we knew he was a horror fiend. Right, and we asked Joe, "Do you want to come do this show called 3 Corners of Horror?"
No. It was because you guys told me you were doing a show, and I said to you, in craft, there's 4 corners. You should have 4 corners, and I was trying to invite myself in, and then you guys had your own show. So then I did like a craft type of prayer, and I was hoping for 4 corners, and somehow Lindsay then wasn't able to do it. And then JR Rick asked me, and I'm like, oh shit, I was totally joking when I made my 4th corner like witch spell to like join the show. I didn't want to take someone out.
How ironic that the 4th corner became your friend Lexi, which is our friend.
Oh, I know. It is. It did. But no, listen, I'm glad you guys asked me. Guys, I appreciate the patience. If anything, patience being the big word, bringing me on. I feel like I've done some growth. If everybody goes back, you can see
Evil Dead.
You can see that. I listen.
What was your first episode, Mom?
Mom, which by the way, guys, thanks for going back and watching that first episode because that one's like it's getting views out of nowhere. But that's a great movie. So
Mom exists. Anyway. Those are early films. Now the first film in this format was. Do you know, Joe?
When we did it the 3 ways.
If you can't think, let me know. Don't waste time. GR, do you know GR? All right, don't think. Saint Maud. That was the first episode we did in this format. Saint Maud. Are you seeing Saint Maud?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I love that movie. But yeah, no, I mean 100 episodes. I mean, I know that I guess this would be like maybe 97 or 96 for me, but that's okay. I round up.
Hey, listen, you're part of live streams, bro.
No,
so
but just meaning like JR said, who would have thought that here we are 100 episodes in. And it's great to do a show with, I mean, granted, yes, we all know each other, but we're all really different. We all like, especially on some movies, you've seen us fight with each other.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
X.
But anyway,
all right, let's be real. I'm fighting with you guys.
Well, I mean, it's not you. No, even it's mostly us fighting with JR. I mean, if we're gonna be real.
For me, I mean, it's when we started doing this, we were in my basement in my garage.
What? Just a green screen, but nothing on it. Just a green screen.
Yeah, there wasn't. Yes, I did notice.
There was nothing on it.
And who would have thought that that our growth would continue? I mean, in every episode, we're constantly evolving. We're constantly looking at things differently. We're looking at more films to look at, and we even got to the point where we were so comfortable with each other that we opened it up to have guests come on. And we were nervous when we started having guests come on. I mean, because we weren't sure how it's going to come off, or if there's going to be any conflict of interest, or
we didn't want to rub people the wrong way with our humor and stuff.
I mean,
it's mostly me. I mean, let's be honest. You were just worried that I was
could be a little offensive.
Not offensive. I mean, depending, go watch Fresh.
Hey. I got a crush. Whatever.
No, but
I was Gaga in that episode.
And I am the international film guy, so if Joe recommends a movie from Indonesia, don't watch.
That was that zombie movie. What was that called?
My God, what was it?
Possessed.
Radar. You ever seen the Indonesian zombie film? Yeah, Possessed. That was
Possessed.
Don't watch it.
Don't watch. All right.
Unless you want to laugh.
Even zombies. It was. Oh my gosh. Hey, I got my revenge though.
TV-14. No, but and it's gotten to the point where
You saw that?
what was that?
His beer. He went to take a sip and it splashed back at him.
No, but and then we reached out to a couple people. We've made friends, with other podcasts or other people who have a passion for horror. Through the show. We had we met Radar through a mutual friend, Angel.
Let's shout them out. Radar, Angel, Tasha, Lexi. Keep it going. Let's go.
Lexi,
Sarah, Kat, Doug. I mean, Charles.
Charles.
The shaman.
Yeah, we're gonna have more coming on. We have more guests coming on. If you watch a show and you're thinking about you want to come in, share your horror knowledge with us. Just comment below. Let us know. I'm the one that usually reaches out to potential guests. So, yeah, I mean, we're continuing growing in the fact that we took this show to be our flagship for this channel, and this show has 100 episodes plus our live streams, continues to grow. And honestly, we're not even done yet. We got so much more to go, and
we appreciate it.
Yeah,
definitely. Thank you for your support.
Radar, thanks, man, for coming on. I gotta be honest, Radar, man. You were the most entertaining guy we had on this show, man. Because me and you, on a personal level, I know you guys are talking about your shirts and stuff, but our taste in films, bro, we mirror each other very similar. I'm always fighting these two guys down there with certain things, but me and you are like this, man.
But wait,
on
that note, stay tuned. I'm not gonna tell you when we're gonna be dropping it. Hopefully, hopefully in October. But me and Radar got together. We have a new show coming out. I'm not gonna tell you the name of it yet, but just watch it when it drops. We'll sprinkle a little bit Easter eggs here and there. But yes, new show coming out. Horror Fiend TV. Man, I love these houses.
Yeah, just watch your house.
That's right.
Nice show up.
Radar, I can't wait to have you back on Three Corners of Horror, man. Thank you, my friend, for everything you have provided for us. Before we go, Radar, plug your books, man. What you got, brother?
Oh, geez. Well, let's see. I've got 4 out so far from last year. There's a new one that should come out whenever, and I just finished the rough draft on one today. So that one's getting sent off to the publisher next week or so. So
nice. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Yeah. This guy here, if you ever want to hear a description of someone's eyeball getting ripped out of their fucking eye socket, this guy right here, man. Thank you for that, sir. Thank you for coming on our 100th episode. Radar DeBoard. If Lexi's the fourth corner, you are cinco, my friend, because you are family to us, man. Thank you, sir.
I would say the U-turn, but
what?
I'll take that.
He's a U-turn? He's a U-turn. Joe the psychologist.
He's a U-turn.
Damn, he ruined my exit again.
I
love
you too.
I love you too. Well, with that being said, I'm Ricky Grimes, Radar DeBoard, Joe the psychologist, and JR, who's usually over here, but I put him over here for obvious reasons. Thank you for 100, and stay for the next 100. You ain't gonna regret it. With that being said, stay healthy, stay good, watch our films, but most of all, stay scared. Damn, I hit the fucking mic.